Super Dave here with another exciting review, and today we're going to be looking at an action figure that comes from the very popular 1989 video game Golden Axe, and his name is Axe Battler. And this is also going to be episode 7 of action figures and play sets and accessories that I believe work well with MOTU classics if you're interested in that. But if not, don't be dismayed, because we're doing this as a separate review of these two beautiful action figures, because it's not just the Axe Battler we're looking at, but including also is the dragon beast that he rides. That's right. Just take a look at that amazing dragon, and we're going to be looking at both of these, breaking them open and checking them out. Let's just look at the box, and then we'll go over some facts about this really cool pair concerning this action figure. This is an action figure made by Storm Collectibles, as far as who designed and made this action figure and set. He comes with accessories. We'll be taking a look at all of that. I've just been really excited about this ever since it debuted and showed up in the display and the actual mock-up that they did, or model that they did last year at PowerCon or Comic-Con, and just in New York, you know, Comic-Con and all those different places that they showed him off. And I just couldn't wait till he came out, and finally got him in, and just can't wait to show him to you. I just think, for me personally, that he will go great with MOTU Classics. He's also got his own backstory, and I want to share just a little bit of that with you in just a moment here. Axe Battler, that's the one that we're looking at here. It was 3 main characters that you could choose in that video game to play with, and this is the one that was the strongest. He was a barbarian hero. He was also the most advanced character, and he carried with him a Claymore Sword, which he comes with here. And then there was a second character, Tyrus Flare, and she was an Amazon warrior who had a lot of skills and ability to do magic and fighting. And then there was Gillian Thunderhead, who is a bearded dwarf who, at least in the arcade version, actually commanded the Golden Axe. Now, Axe Battler is, of course, here is the most powerful fighter who can call upon volcanic magic, deploying lava and powerful eruptive blasts. Now, his mother, they're all looking for the Golden Axe. That's the goal. But his mother, Axe Battler's mother, was murdered by the main villain, who was in the Golden Axe 1 video game anyway, Death Adder, who is a tyrannical giant who wears a full iron helmet, pointed spalders, and wields an enormous double axe. It'll be interesting to see if any of the other characters will be released in this series with this dude. And here's some pictures of them in action. But let's break him open and go over here to a review booth. We're going to use the white background again today, as well as Castle Grayskull, because I do want us to compare He-Man and Battle Cat to this pair. We'll be measuring all of them up and checking them out, and doing some comparisons at the end to some of the other action figures in my collection. And of course, as always, some pictures of this guy in action at the very end. God bless you, and let's get started. And here is our review booth, where we're going to be taking a look at the Axe Battler. And He-Man's very interested in it. We've got Castle Grayskull and He-Man, and then of course Teela and Battle Cat over here to the sidelines, so that we can compare them later. But first of all, let's go ahead and take a really good look at the Axe Battler as we zoom in here and look at him together. Wow, what an awesome looking action figure he is. I want to get just a little bit closer, and we're going to be taking a look first at his accessories, minus the dragon. We're going to be looking at the dragon as a separate piece, or as a separate action figure altogether, and we will combine the two here in just a few moments. But let's first of all take a look at what kind of hands the Axe Battler comes with. So first of all, he comes with the wide gripping hands, which are really neat. look at the detail. You could even read the palms in these guys. I mean, wow, really nice detail on these hands. Just love the size of these and the thickness of these. I mean, to me, they have the thickness of kind of like a bodybuilder, you know, the size hands and fingers that you would see in a muscular man like the Axe Battler. Then the next pair of hands he comes with are these grappling type hands. Open palm, but like he's going to grab something. And again, the depth of the recesses of the palms and the wrinkles in the palms and the fingers and the joints and the knuckles and even the fingernails there. Just really nice all the way around on the hands of the Axe Battler. Just really cool. Of course, he's got to have the ability to hold that axe, and here are some weapon holding hands. And look at the separation in those fingers. Just looks very realistic. I love these as well. So he can hold his Claymore Sword, as well as when they do find that golden axe, he can hold that too, right? So just really good detail on these hands. And of course, last but not least, the Axe Battler, of course, is sporting in his possession. He's got them plugged in already, these nice balled up fists. And they just look very detailed and really good too. So both hands have those installed. So he's ready to punch somebody's lights out. He's ready to go to battle. I mean, this guy has that bodybuilder physique. He's just really awesome. So let's take a look next at the rest of his accessories. Now, I will mention while we're at it here that those gauntlets that are installed around his wrists are stationary. A lot of times with Storm Collectibles, those are detachable. They come off, but not on this guy. They are part of the mold, so just mention that. However, one of his accessories is this necklace, and that is removable. So he does have that feature there for that accessory, for the removable necklace there. And of course, he comes with this head that you see him wearing now. Some have called it almost a Dolph Lundgren look, but he does have the mullet going on. And the hair detail, just check out the hair detail on this guy. See if we can get a little clearer here. I think it looks really good. The color contrast and just the grooves and the separations just looks really good. I like his hairstyle there. You can even see his ears up underneath there. That's a good touch. Just a very realistic but yet also video game style looking face, I think, overall. Just really, really neat looking. Just really enjoying it. Let's take a look at this awesome second head sculpt, which is more of an angry face or an anguished face or a gritting teeth type face. And you can see that there is some good detail in those teeth. And the eyes are dead on. The nose, the features, again, that nice looking hair. You can see the ears back in there again. So just a really nice look, and we'll take a look at him with this head here in just a few moments. One last accessory we want to take a look at, and this is like almost like the Volcanic Blast that, now I believe this has, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this can have a dual purpose. I've seen on the package this used as like a fire blast by the dragon, but it mentioned, talking about the video game, that Axe Battler could summon volcanic magic and send out a fireball or a blast. I think that's what this is meant to be. So he can send out this blast, and then of course you can combine these two pieces, and then you can have a fireball coming out of the dragon's mouth. And that's the way I'm going to interpret this, being that it does come apart very easily, but yet is very sturdy together. So very cool accessory that I believe can go with both the Axe Battler as well as the dragon that we'll look at here in just a few moments. And then of course you have this Claymore Sword, which is really nice, really cool. Look at the detail on that blade, that little gold design that spirals up into the top. Just really nice. Nice shine on that blade, nice hilt with some gold accent, and just really cool. You see the butt of the sword down here with the silver. Just really nice looking sword and long sword. I believe the base or the handle is long enough to hold with double fists. We'll check that out in a little bit. But just really nice on our axe battler to be able to use this, which is his weapon of choice. Like I said, in the video game, they've not found the golden axe yet. But here is his mainstay weapon, the Claymore Sword. What an awesome specimen of an action figure with lots of accessories. Now let's take a look at his articulation. So looking at the axe battler's articulation, just check out again that awesome head sculpt. Just looks really nice. Check out those eyes. They just look really good. Check out that profile. Look at the veins in his shoulders, in his chest, in his bicep. Just awesome molding in his shoulders. Check out his jacked back here. And of course those quads. There's the axe battler's butt. There's his quads. And look at the veins popping through there. Just a really, really well articulated and just aesthetically pleasing action figure for the axe battler. All right, zooming back out here to look at his articulation. First of all, the axe battler can look up about that much. He can look down all the way to his chest, because remember, this chest part, this upper torso part, is a soft rubbery plastic, so it will give, and you can look all the way down there, but it will pop off that head if you extend it too far back, because it's easily popped off, or at least mine is anyway. But he'll look side to side. He's got some nice head pivoting. You can definitely get some nice expressions going on there for the axe battler. And so really good head articulation, no limits there on that ball joint that goes down into the neck and up through there. You see it's a little short, but if you pop that on there just part of the way, I think you get a better range of motion on stuff, and then of course you can pop it all the way down and it almost gives a short neck look. But and again, you can kind of move these muscular chest plastic, rubbery plastic parts down some and adjust it. Going on to the arms though, he has that really nice butterfly joint on both sides. He's going to be able to get better than 90 degrees going up. Of course, he's got all the way around there, and he does have, if I can get the butterfly joint out of the way, he does have bicep swivel going on there, so you see there, and he has double jointed elbows. But of course, because of that girth of that bicep, you're not going to get much more than 90 degrees. And then of course with there's no articulation at the gauntlet, that is molded in and painted, but with the wrist you get a ball joint hinge, so he's going to be able to go all the way around, and of course you're going to be able to get that joint to go either direction that you want, depending on how you turn that hand and that joint. And of course the same thing goes for this side as well. I want to go ahead and pop off this fist here and install the other grabbing fist, because or weapon holding fist area that opens up here, because we're going to try him out with the sword here in just a moment. Moving on though to the rest of his articulation, he has this nice diaphragm ball joint and hinge on the upper torso here, so he can crunch forward about that much. He can even go a little further than that, but it does create a gap in the back, and then he can also, and that can also bunch up a little bit back there, so you have to watch that. But he can go back about, not too much, but about that much. You're gonna extend it a little bit. If you try to go any further, it might mess up that butterfly articulation, so that's going to be good. Check out the abs. He's got a six-pack there going on, the thickness of these middle sections of abs and the lower section, and even the ribs you can see going up underneath his pectorals. Just really good anatomy here, I think, for this particular girth and thickness of this action figure. He's also got the ability, of course, to go side to side. Even though there's a little bit of a stickiness to this plastic, he can lean. There we go. See that there a little better. Kind of force it there, but he's got that ability. You can't really turn much there. It's really tight, but you can, of course, get the turn in at his waist, and he can also bend forward with the waist. some and bend some with the back, even though you're going to have to kind of adjust those shorts. Again, the shorts are, or the loincloth, whatever you call it, looks like to me shorts on this guy compared to He-Man's shorts. But it's a soft, gummy plastic, so that's very posable, so you can adjust and get some of those you know, seams and gaps covered when you want to. So all total, when you incorporate that, you're going to get a good amount of forward crunch there. And then with all together, and see, it pulled everything and actually popped that ball joint, you can see, so you can get that back on there. But he's going to be able to look up about that much there, or bend back about that much there once you get everything kind of moving together. All right, we're going to try to get him back in place here. Let's go and move on to his legs once we bend these arms up out of the way. But he can get a full split with those nice hinges at the thighs. He's able to get a full split. He does have thigh rotation, excellent thigh rotation. Everything's tight here. He's going to be able to kick up about that much. And it's going to bunch up a little bit at the shorts. Again, you can move that rubber out of the way. Then you're going to be able to get a double jointed knee. Look how wonderful that looks. Really excellent there on that. He also has boot cut, which is very well hidden. It's also recessed above that calf, so it's very well hidden. And then he's able to go up and back and forth with that ankle, as well as he's got toe pivot. And of course, don't forget ankle rockers, which are also excellent in this figure. So just great overall articulation. You can't ask for more. Now I'm just going to say it very quickly. I would love to see, I think I would almost go all the way back through the line if we could see Storm Collectibles do a Masters of the Universe line with this kind of body style and buck and articulation and quality and size. I just think He-Man would look awesome on this, and that's just my opinion. I think, you know, maybe bulk him up just a little bit more in the arms, and you'd have him, you know, put a He-Man head on this dude, put a fuzzy loincloth around him, maybe even a real one, and the quality would be there. Just add some detail to those gauntlets, make them quite not as far up on his, you know, forearm, maybe on one side like our He-Man Classics does. I don't know. I just think it would be awesome. Since we were talking about doing this mashup, or talking about Storm Collectibles possibly making a line of MOTU Classics set there, I wanted to check something out. Pop this Axe Battler head off and pop our He-Man head off here and just see what it looks like. It's a tad small, I believe. Looks a tad small on there. And the ball hinge, of course, doesn't fit. It's a little, on the Classics, MOTU Classics figure, the head is probably works better on him than it did, than his works on his, but his will go in there. But if you were just curious what it looks like, there you go. The ball joints aren't the same size, so it don't quite work. For those of you who had this head variant, which are several different sources you can get it from, but it actually works a little better, I think, with the larger hair. Maybe it actually looks like that fits. Face is a little shiny, of course, because our Axe Battler's body is a very matte finish. But as far as scale, that actually kind of works better than our vintage style head over here. This custom He-Man head. But just in case you were curious, there you have it. Okay, and so to take this one step further, if anybody was interested in maybe trying to pull off a custom using the Axe Battler body to do a He-Man, you know, it almost looks like the thighs are a little too long, too elongated for, you know, for what we traditionally think of as He-Man, obviously. But with the armor on and this particular head on, you could see it happening with some more modifications for somebody that's really into customizing. But just out of curiosity, there you have it. You can see how that fits on his buck there, the Axe Battler. All right. Okay, so now let's get back to the review. But anyway, there is our Axe Battler's articulation and accessories. Now let's look at the dragon. But before we do, I do want to check out this sword. I said I was going to do it. So let's just do it right here on camera. Let's see if we can get this in a double blade looking sword using this. You can cross over. Yep, like that. I'll be able to put that in both hands and check it out. That looks good. That looks good. He's going to be able to hold that sword, or at least give the illusion that he's holding that sword with both hands. So he's going to be able to do some cool poses with that. Awesome. And we'll get some more poses in with the Axe Battler with his Claymore Sword in a little while when we do photos. But just check that out. I mean, he's looking awesome. He is just great. I think this action figure looks impressive. I'm impressed with him. I love the design, and I just think he looks phenomenal. Do wish that handle had been just a little bit longer, but it looks great. I believe. There we go. Check that out. Looks really good. Bravo, bravo. I like it. All right, let's go back here to the turntable and check out the dragon. And here is the dragon, the way he comes out of the package. He has his tail right here. And so we will certainly want to pop that into that ball joint there. And it'll pop right into that. Oops. Gotta position that ball just right so you can get the pressure point. But you're going to want to pop that right into that area, and that is a little bit of a challenge. All right, let me get it done first. All right, and here is our dragon. Wow, what a specimen. And it was pretty tight trying to get that, I will say, trying to get that, that tail installed inside of this beast. But isn't he a specimen to behold? Really nice, really cool, this dragon that comes with the Axe Battler. I tell you, Storm Collectible, I believe, went the extra mile with this duo. And I think this guy makes it worth the price tag. Of course, he comes with this holster already installed that has loose on him. It does not come off, I don't believe. At least I hadn't seen any disconnecting points. But it is nice, so you can pose that around, get him on there good. And we'll look at that here in a little bit. And so there he is. I mean, that's the awesome, fierce dragon that he's able to ride. Looks just dynamic. But let's also take a look at his articulation. The only accessory he really comes with is kind of like we were saying. This has a dual purpose, I believe, having the ability to both be a fireball that the dragon can breathe out of his mouth, but also having the ability to let the Axe Battler conjure up the magic of the volcano and send out a ball of fire as well. So that's kind of a dual purpose, as we said. But let's go ahead and take this guy off the base and check out his articulation. All right, first of all, let's cover the head. He's able to look up about that much. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? He's able to look down about that much. And he does have head tilt. He can also look side to side. So he's got pivoting as well. Just awesome. Now look at this. Wow, look at that. Yes, you can open the monster's mouth. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at those eyes. Look at just the beautiful paintwork on this guy. The tongue, the teeth, the beak, the harness, and you know, just the saddle part that comes around his face, the ears, the horns, I mean the scales on his upper torso, just the washing on here and the paintwork is just dynamic, just amazing. I love it. But I just love the fact that you can open up that mouth. Isn't that the coolest thing? It's almost like a bird beak / dragon mouth type thing going on. Even the tendons around the mouth that recess in and look like they stretch out when you open that mouth. That is just so cool. Just love that tongue. The tongue can, let's see, can move a little bit. I don't know if there's a wire or anything in there. Let's see. You could certainly get him to eat something and kind of, you know, play around with it, I think. But look at there, you can even move that tongue a little bit. But that is just so amazing. And then as far as the upper part, you can move this neck part down about that much. You can move it up about that much. It can move side to side and can be turned from left to right, so you've got a ball joint in that neck. There's nothing as far as diaphragm in the midsection, but you do have the ability to go out with those arms like so. You also have the ability to do 360 if that, you know, saddle wasn't in the way. You don't have bicep swivel, but you do have swivel at the elbow, so that kind of compensates for that. Also has another ball and hinge at the wrist, so you're going to be able to turn and hinge those claws and those wrists and hands there, or claws I should say. And so you've got that ability, and that'll go up about that much, about 90 degrees there. And so you've got a good amount of range here with this fella's articulation in his arms, if that's what you want to call them here. Yeah, his legs or arms. All right, going on to the bottom part. These will pull apart a little bit, but you want to be careful not to extend them too far. They do seem to be able to go in and out some, but he almost comes with almost, oh, I've got to pee, look. So you can pull these out so you can get a better stance, and that is a good thing. But he also has the ability to bend at that knee. It's just a single jointed knee, not very much range of motion. It doesn't turn, but it does allow you to get some adjustments. And then also a nice turn, nice hinge and turn at the ankle of this foot. So that is really good. And he gets toe pivot. Yes, those claws can pivot. Wow. Check that out. So just really nice there because he's waving at you. But so you're just going to be able to get a good amount of range there. And of course this tail that we plugged in can go back and forward. It can go side to side, and it does pop off easy, but it's a beast to get on there. Let's see if it pops on easier this time. Oh yeah, it popped on a little easier that time. Good deal. All right, so there he is. Now let's take a look at our axe battler on the dragon. We'll be right back. Just check him out. Now there is an awesome picture for sure. It's a good running stance. It's almost like they're running, charging into battle. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Just check that out. Look at there. Looks amazing. He's got his head tilted forward. They're running. And the axe battler is leaning forward, holding the straps of the saddle. Bridle bit in his mouth, I guess, kind of like a horse. And he's running into battle. Just so awesome. And I'll just say it again, I think that this particular set is going to go wonderfully if you want to mash it up and place his storyline in with the Masters of the Universe and make the Axe Battler a part of the MOTU universe. Certainly could be done. It's that medieval sci-fi look that Masters of the Universe nails and perfects, and I think that the Axe Battler can go along with it. But of course he can go along with many lines if you would like to, or of course wait for more Golden Axe figures to come out and just have a line of his own. Hopefully that's what we're in for the next few years, the Lord willing. So here we go, the Axe Battler. Now let's do some comparisons with the Axe Battler, as well as checking out some other riders for the dragon. Let's check it out next. And here's our Axe Battler with He-Man. And I'm using that custom head that I've just recently gotten, and you can look at the link in the description below for Jose, who does these customized heads, as well as the one that's on Teela over here, which I really like, and I'll be doing a review of those heads soon. But this is the Axe Battler next to our He-Man and the Master of the Universe, the most powerful man in the universe. And of course you can already see a little bit of a problem. The Axe Battler is quite a bit taller than the average Classics He-Man, but not necessarily thicker. You have proportions that I think kind of work here. The Axe Battler would just have to be quite a bit larger, quite a bit bigger and taller. So that's my take on it. You could certainly use him in this universe. In my opinion, it's just going to be a little bit more of a challenge to get him to pose next to him to look, you know, like it's a similar line. Again, I would love to have the MOTU universe done in this particular scale. I know that other company is doing those like 12 to 14 inch tall Master Universe figures, and that's pretty cool, but Storm Collectibles just knocks it out of the park. I mean, look at the eyes look so real, the character as a whole, just the overall aesthetics. I just love the articulation, the way they do the soft body parts, just to me great. All right, now let's go ahead and compare him up beside the Dolph Lundgren. And as you see, this actually has a little bit more of a toe-to-toe look going on. Now you can see that there is some similarities in the facial structure possibly here, as some have already brought out. It does look like that they have some similarities here as far as their look, and I will say that does seem to prove out here. There is some similarities, of course there's some difference, but they are a little bit more in scale of size. Dolph Lundgren's He-Man here, the William Stout collection He-Man, is still just a tad shorter than our excellent looking Barbarian here, the Axe Battler, but hey, I think they match up well here. So either one of these I believe you could make work. Again, your Axe Battler is just going to be much taller, but I still think it's going to work. I had strapped on that Mythic Legion shield that I painted over as well, just to add a little character to him alongside of his He-Man counterparts here. But let's go ahead and look at Archimedes, which is a Mythic Legions character, next to our huge Storm Collectible Axe Battler. Compared to these others, he's been pretty big, but our Archimedes orc dude here from Mythic Legions towers over our Axe Battler. Let me get a measurement on the Axe Battler right quick, and we'll straighten him up here and just see how tall he really is. Alright, so in order to get a measurement of our Axe Battler, let's take a look. He comes in just under 8 inches. He's right at the 7 3/4 mark there. And then He-Man, of course, is just under 7 inches. Same thing, 6 inches and 3/4. So 7 3/4, so it's just about an entire inch taller than our heroic master of the universe, the strongest man in the universe. So that gives you an idea. Whereas our Dolph Lundgren He-Man action figure, who is a little bit taller, and we measured him. All of these characters that I'm showing you today, I have reviews of, by the way, but he comes in at 7 inches exactly. So he's just a little bit shorter than our Axe Battler. But there we have it. Let's just do a few more comparisons while we're at it. Let me go ahead and move Dolph Lundgren here and bring in another favorite. And we see that our Prince Goro is much taller than He-Man or Axe Battler, which of course we've had He-Man fight the mighty Prince Goro before, and you can check out that video on my channel here as well, where He-Man fights Prince Goro. But you can see he's pretty much taller than all of them. He, again, and I've got a review of Prince Goro, but he measures in right at, if you measure at the top of his head, 9.5 inches, or at the top of his ponytail, about 10 inches. But he's a giant of an action figure there. So very cool. And there is the Axe Battler with Katrina, and you see that even though he's taller, he still fits in, I believe, in the scale. I mean, there are people taller than other people, and this particular guy is just really tall. But he does fit in with this line, I do believe, and I love that look. Just check him out beside Katrina, and they got similar colors going on, and she's got her flaming sword and he's got his sword. They could go at it there. So just really cool. I love it. And just for the fun of it, being that they match up so well in height, let's look at the SH Figure Arts Thanos up next against our Axe Battler. Just about the same height. Now Thanos may have just a tad of height on him, but I do have his legs that have that drop down method the SH Figure Arts has pulled down, so that gives him a little bit of height. If I was to set those back in place, I believe he'd be almost the exact same height as our Axe Battler. So that's just interesting to note. That's not necessarily in character here with the theme, but there he goes. That's another one that I have a review up on if you're interested in seeing that. But all of these that I've compared him with, I do have reviews up for you. You can check those out. And here's the mighty Thor next to our Axe Battler. This is the 80-year Marvel Legends, Marvel Studios comic book style Thor. And you see he's just a tad taller than He-Man and just a tad shorter than our Axe Battler. But that's a cool matchup as well. He would fit in, I believe, with this gang very well. And I also have a review of this Thor if you'd like to check him out. And there is the Axe Battler next to the SH Figure Arts Infinity War Hulk. Why not? Gotta put him in here. You can see Hulk is just a little bit taller, even though Hulk is not even standing completely upright. He's a little bit taller and of course a lot more muscular, big than our Axe Battler, but that would be an interesting match off right there, of course. Also check him out. And here's the Axe Battler next to the Marvel Legends Hercules. I love this action figure, and I think this is a good mashup, kind of a barbarian style figure, and his bulk and his girth. I love this. These look great together. And not too far off. Again, I think these match up pretty well. Our Hercules comes in right at 7 inches, so he's a little taller than He-Man by just a tad, but not quite as tall as our Axe Battler. But I think this is a nice matchup, and you can check out a review on the Hercules figure as well on my channel. And last but not least, here is our Axe Battler with Lion-O and Jackalman. And I did do a combo review of Jackalman and Lion-O some time ago if you want to check that out. But look at there. I love Thundercats. Got some coming in that we'll be doing some reviews of soon, hopefully this month, of at least of Panther, I hope. And this is just cool matchup as well. Again, the Axe Battler is a little bit taller, but look, they just look great together. I love the color scheme. I think these guys could be friends. I think He-Man and Lion-O and the Axe Battler could go on an adventure together and really wreak some havoc against the evil forces of Skeletor and Hordak and Mumra. Wow, just check out these two. I think the Axe Battler looks great on Battle Cat, and I think that He-Man looks great on the Dragon. Just check them out there. That is really dynamic. I think you can't get any better than that. I mean, the sizing works okay for Battle Cat. He doesn't look overly large to be riding that Battle Cat, and I believe He-Man looks perfect on that Dragon. I believe the Dragon is going to go great, especially with the MOTU Classics figures, and I can see that Dragon most definitely being friends with Granomir. How about you? I mean, just check him out. That is just so cool. And I just like that matchup with Battle Cat and our Dragon here. Just really cool. He-Man looks like he's having a ball riding him too. I mean, it's just a perfect fit. He works right there with it, and I believe all the Classics figures would. Man, this is going to be a dynamic pair. I think the Axe Battler and He-Man are going to make a good team. And there is a Mythic Legion character that is getting away on the Dragon. He's running from the Axe Battler as he conjures up the magic of the volcano powers and sends out a blast, a volcanic blast toward him, as you can see there, and using one of those Figma stands just to kind of give that little flame attachment that came with this set. a prop to be able to send it out from his hand. That's cool, and that's without this part, because you could take this part and also attach it here. Use some little tacky magic there. Also attach this part here. And there's us using the fire attachment coming out of the dragon's mouth, and I'm using that Figma stand. But guess what I found? There is a peg hole up underneath there. It plugs right in, and so He-Man's going to block that fiery blast with his shield. But there you have it, folks. It looks great, and I believe there's a lot of different characters you could put on this dragon's back, and he's just going to look dynamic. So let's get ready for some photos. But if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, comment down below, share this with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not already done so, and hit that bell so you're notified when I do more reviews. I've got Thundercats coming up. As soon as Snake Mountain gets here, I'm going to do a review of Snake Mountain. Got some other figures, including some MOTU origins that I'm going to cover, so stay tuned. We do this as a hobby here at SuperDave's Reviews. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you. Here's some photos.